blackberry and plum aromas.
Few pleasures break down international barriers quite like wine. And Mason Groban's family are breaking a new frontier in the American Midwest. President Xi Jinping drank their Iowa wine when he returned to a state he calls home as vice president in 2012.
It was honestly a really cool thing at the time, so unexpected when he came here and tried our wines. It was a real honor for us to be part of that. And now that he's coming back, you know, it just really shows the tie that he has to Iowa.
Jasper Winery is leveraging that presidential seal of approval, looking to expand in China after an initial export of nearly 1,000 bottles. But wine isn't the only Iowan product China is interested in. I'm driving through the heart of Iowa's farming community. You can really see why they call this America's breadbasket. And increasingly, the crops grown here and the machinery used to produce them are heading to China. Since 2006, Iowa's exports to China have grown hugely by more than 250%. To put that in context, during the same period, Iowa's exports to the rest of the world grew by just a third. And Iowa is witnessing a new trend, a surge of not just Chinese investment, but cultural interest. Muscatine is at the heart of it. President Xi has made this small town on the Mississippi River an unlikely destination for Chinese visitors. Xi spent a few nights here while visiting Iowa to study agriculture in the mid-1980s. Businessman Glad Chung has turned the home into a cultural center to foster China-US relations.
For our president, Xi stayed.
This is where he stayed back in 1985?
Yes, yes.
But it's clear both sides needed to adjust to this new relationship.
At the beginning, they don't understand me. I also don't understand them. So it takes us 3 years to stay here.
Local Republicans are also adjusting to how President Donald Trump will cultivate his relationship with President Xi. There are probably few other American towns that have embraced China in the way that Muscatine has, and yet you helped elect a president who's come out with some fairly strong rhetoric against China, threatening to impose tariffs. How do you square that circle?
And there's definite concerns about the tariffs that may be placed on China. Hopefully we can find a policy that absolutely fits our interests, but at the same time doesn't alienate any opportunities, the economic opportunities that we have with China.
Even so, a trade war with China would be problematic for Iowa, having invested so much both financially and emotionally in China. But at Jasper Winery, the trade group set up to promote bilateral trade with Iowa is optimistic.
All this tough talk is really President Trump setting the stage so he can negotiate a better deal from the trade relationship with China. And at the end of the day, we want good trade deals, and negotiation is a good thing.
A reminder that perhaps the best way to harmonize this complex yet crucial trade relationship may be over a glass of something good.
Say a few more months to kind of let it mellow out, but I think it's well on its way.
Owen Fairclough, CGTN, Iowa.